In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we often forget the importance of arming ourselves to face the battles that life presents us. Prayer, as an act of connection with God, can be our armor, strengthening our spirit and bringing us the divine presence that we so desperately need. When we wake up, it is essential to seek that moment of surrender, an intimate conversation with the Creator that clothes us with strength and protection. The Bible is full of examples of people who, amidst adversities, found refuge in prayer. Think of David. He faced giants, both physical and emotional, but always returned to prayer. In the Psalms, he expresses his trust in God, crying out for protection and strength. This intimate relationship with God is what gives us the courage to face challenges. Spiritual armor is not something we wear like a piece of clothing. It is a daily practice, a conscious choice to seek God's presence in every decision and situation. In Ephesians 6:10-18, Paul invites us to put on the armor of God. This passage speaks about the importance of being prepared for spiritual battles. Truth, righteousness, the gospel of peace, faith, salvation, and the Word of God are described as elements of this armor. Each of them strengthens us in distinct ways. For example, faith, when nourished by prayer, gives us the security to face any storm. When we feel weak, it is at that moment that we can cry out, "Lord, strengthen me, clothe me with your armor." God's presence in our lives is a constant invitation not to face difficulties alone. Sometimes the struggles seem overwhelming, and it is easy to lose hope. But it is precisely in those moments that we must seek prayer. The connection with God not only gives us strength, but also reminds us that He is always by our side, even when we cannot perceive it. In Isaiah 43:2, He promises us, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not overwhelm you." This certainty encourages us to move forward, even when the path is uncertain. Remembering that difficulties are not a sign of God's absence, but rather an opportunity to experience His presence more deeply, is an important step. Often, trials shape us, teaching us to trust and to wait. When we encounter challenges, we can see this as a divine invitation to grow. In prayer, we ask God to help us understand the purpose behind adversities and to give us the strength necessary to face them. The story of Job is emblematic in this context. He lost everything: family, possessions, health. However, in his pain, he did not cease to seek God. Job questioned, lamented, and even in his anguish, continued to pray. At the end of his trial, he not only received back what he had lost, but also a deeper understanding of God's greatness. His strength did not come from his situation, but from his continuous pursuit of the divine presence. Job's prayer teaches us that even in the most intense tribulations, there is a sacred space where we can find comfort and strength. The practice of prayer as armor is not something that is limited to moments of crisis. It should be part of our daily lives. Upon waking, we can make prayer a routine, asking God to clothe us with His armor and guide us through the day. This attitude not only prepares our spirit, but also guides us in the decisions and interactions we will have ahead. Prayer is an act of faith that connects us to God's strength, reminding us that we are not alone. Furthermore, prayer brings clarity. Often, Worries and anxieties surround us, but when we turn to God, we find the peace that surpasses all understanding. The divine presence calms us and gives us the assurance that regardless of the circumstances, we will have the strength necessary to move forward. This strength is not only physical but spiritual, something that drives us to act with courage and determination. Reflecting on spiritual armor leads us to understand that prayer is an invitation to intimacy with God. Every word, every cry, is a way of clothing ourselves with divine protection. As we draw near to God, we not only ask for strength, but also for the ability to see beyond difficulties, perceiving the purpose He has for us. God's presence in our lives is a reminder that even in the darkest hours, there is a light that guides us. Tomorrow, when you wake up, set aside some time, not just to give thanks, but to clothe yourself, to cry out, and to connect. Experience the strength that comes from prayer and the powerful presence of God in every step you take. When the light of day enters through the window, it is the perfect moment to seek that spiritual armor. The world outside may be chaotic, but the strength we find in prayer can transform not only our day but our lives. If you take a moment to reflect, you will realize that each morning is a new opportunity to be clothed with divine protection. Imagine waking up and, before anything else, saying a prayer asking God to grant you strength to face the challenges ahead. The simple act of speaking to Him, of opening your heart, is already a powerful step. God's presence manifests in ways that we often cannot see but can feel. This happens when we ask Him to envelop us with His armor, giving us courage and wisdom. Difficulties arise and, many times, may seem insurmountable. However, it is in this confrontation with the adverse that we find opportunities for growth. Each trial can be seen as a divine invitation to strengthen ourselves. When we pray, we ask God not only for protection, but also for understanding. This helps us visualize difficulties from a new perspective. Instead of feeling defeated, we begin to understand that each struggle has a greater purpose. Spiritual strength is not something that is acquired overnight. It is shaped through experiences. Let's think about moments of crisis we have faced. Remember when the pressure felt unbearable, and a simple plea for help brought unexpected relief. This is God's presence acting in our lives. He did not promise that life would be easy, but He guaranteed that He would be by our side every step of the way. Romans 8:28 reminds us that all things work together for the good of those who love God. This certainty is a balm for the soul. If the morning is a new beginning, what would you like to ask God today? As you put on this spiritual armor, remember that prayer is a dialogue. It is not just about asking, it is also about listening. Often, the answers come in the form of thoughts, feelings, or even an inexplicable peace. This is God's presence. He is always present, even if we do not perceive it right away. Imagine a day when you feel overwhelmed. The stress is palpable, and responsibilities seem endless. At that moment, a small break to pray can change everything. When you connect with God, the burden becomes lighter. Prayer does not remove problems, but it offers the strength needed to deal with them. What are you facing today? Take it to God. Ask Him to give you strength and to envelop you with His presence. Additionally, the practice of gratitude can be a powerful way to strengthen this connection. Starting the morning by thanking for the little things, for the challenges that shape character, brings a new light to difficulties. When we recognize blessings, even in tough situations, we open space for God's action in our lives. He reveals himself in the simplicity of everyday life. The divine presence is a constant, but we often forget to acknowledge it. Trials, no matter how difficult, teach us to develop qualities like patience and humility. When we face situations that test us, prayer helps us reflect on who we are and who we wish to be. It is an invitation to look within and find the strength we often do not even know we have. As you prepare for the day, visualize yourself surrounded by God's armor. This armor is not just protection, but also a symbol of strength. When we ask for it, we are committing to live with integrity and faith. God's presence becomes a shield that protects us from the insecurities and fears that surround us. It is this strength that allows us to move forward, even when the path seems uncertain. Prayer is a daily exercise. Do not wait for moments of crisis. Make it a habit. Upon waking, create a sacred space where you can connect with God. Some people prefer to do this in silence, while others like to speak out loud. Find what works for you. The important thing is to be present, to open yourself to the divine presence, and to ask for strength. Life is full of ups and downs. Each morning brings a new chance to start over. By putting on the spiritual armor, you not only prepare for the day, but also for the challenging moments that will inevitably come. This protection is not just for times of joy, but especially for the hours of pain and uncertainty. The presence of God is an invitation to live fully. Instead of being carried away by worries, choose to seek the strength that comes from Him. Each prayer is a step toward a stronger heart and a clearer mind. Do not underestimate the power of a sincere request. When you cry out for strength, God responds, and that response may come in ways you never imagined. As you finish your morning prayer, feel enveloped by divine protection. Step out into the world with the certainty that you are not alone. The strength you seek is real and accessible. The presence of God is not an empty promise. It is a reality that can be lived at every moment. Tomorrow, upon waking, make this prayer a ritual. Put on your armor, seek strength, invoke the presence of God. Feel the difference this can make in your life. The morning prayer is more than a ritual. It is an act of courage. Upon waking, find a quiet space. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Imagine the spiritual armor being placed over you. Ask God to clothe you with it. This armor is not just symbolic. It is a shield against the difficulties that will come. Visualize each piece: the helmet of salvation, which protects your mind; the breastplate of righteousness, which guards your heart; the belt of truth, which prevents lies from hitting you; and the sandals of peace, which guide you along the right path. Throughout the day, adversities may arise unexpectedly. A misunderstanding at work, an unfair criticism, or even a personal challenge can shake your confidence. Remember that these situations are not meant to destroy you, but to develop you. When the storm comes, take a pause. Breathe and remember God's promises. Romans 8:28 says that all things work together for the good of those who love God. This certainty should strengthen you. The presence of God is a refuge. During times of tribulation, turn to prayer. It can be a short prayer, but sincere. Lord, I am here. I need your strength to face what lies ahead. This is not weakness. It is a recognition that true strength comes from faith. When you feel weak, it is in that moment that God's strength becomes most evident. Also consider trials as opportunities. A difficult situation can be a chance to learn patience. If someone hurts you, see it as a test to develop humility. When you face a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This shift in perspective can transform suffering into growth. It is an invitation to reflect on how you can become a better version of yourself. Prayer can be a guide in this process. Take a moment, perhaps at the end of the day, to reflect on the difficulties you faced. Ask God, what do you want me to learn? Write down your reflections. This will not only help you process your emotions, but also recognize God's presence in the small victories. Each time you see a challenge overcome, acknowledge that it was His strength that sustained you. And do not forget to involve others on this path. Spiritual strength is not something to be kept just for yourself. Share your experiences with friends or family. An open conversation can be a balm for someone going through a tough phase. By witnessing how God's presence has guided you, you can inspire others to seek that same connection. Life is full of changes and uncertainties. Sometimes the feeling of loneliness can be intense. Remember that God's presence is constant. He is by your side, even when everything seems to crumble. In moments of despair, cry out to Him. God, come to my aid. I need your peace. The answer may not come immediately, but the assurance that He is listening to your prayers brings immense relief. Sometimes the spiritual armor may feel heavy, but it is precisely what protects you. The strength you seek is not within yourself, but in the connection with the divine. When you wear this armor, you are not just preparing for the day, you are preparing to live fully. Every decision you make, every challenge you face is an opportunity to manifest that strength. At the end of the day, say a prayer of gratitude. Acknowledge the small victories. They are signs of God's presence. Say, "Thank you, Lord, for your protection and for the strength you have given me." This practice not only closes the day on a high note, but also reinforces the certainty that you are always surrounded by divine armor. Rise tomorrow and make this prayer a pillar of your routine. It is not just a moment of devotion, but a commitment to your own spiritual journey. The presence of God is a reality to be lived. By putting on the spiritual armor, you not only protect yourself, but also strengthen yourself to face whatever comes. Life can be challenging, but with God's armor, you are more than a survivor. You are a warrior. The strength and divine presence are within your reach. Do not hesitate. Experience, live, and feel this connection every day. The morning prayer for spiritual armor, strength, and the presence of God is what propels you forward.